Two North Country residents are helping to amplify the voices fighting against the climate crisis. Co-organizers of the North Country Art, Land, and Environment Summit have worked for almost a year to work with local and regional scientists, policymakers, artists, and more to create a virtual month-long summit.
So both of us graduated from different schools in the area. I graduated from St. Lawrence University.
I graduated from SUNY Potsdam.
And since then, we've been around, we've traveled different places doing other similar projects, but we always wanted to come back to this area specifically to work on this project. We knew this region, we're living in this region currently, we love this region, and we also wanted to highlight, like we said previously, the different voices that sometimes get sidelined in the general conversation. People generally forget that this region almost exists. And when talking about the environment, it's very common to focus on kind of the doom and gloom of what's happening around the world. And it's very important to talk about that because we need to understand what is happening in order to move forward to into the future and change the present. However, it's also important to look at the success stories, to look at what can inspire us to move forward regionally and globally. The news has been picked up by the pandemic, rightly so. However, there is something that's also been going on underneath the surface and in many cases in the forefront of many people's minds. Whether it be fires out in California, fires in Siberia, to droughts throughout other places in the United States and the rest of the world, the climate crisis is present, the climate crisis is here.
Why, in your opinion, do you think it's important, especially in the environmental movement, that we combine not only science and not only the voices of activists, but also art and, these discussions and different media?
The world is not just made of what scientific discovery can improve whatever element of the environment. The world is made by people, is made by communities, and there is a lot of different levels of knowledge that have to be taken into account, from the storytelling that held the history of communities and the culture of communities, to policy making that are those that help the science, the new scientific discoveries being implemented, the policy making that keeps communities together and keep the people in the communities protected. So this is why we wanted to feature such a large variety of people, from people that work with art, from people that work with culture and storytelling, and from people that work in the policy making, and then of course in the science.
The summit is only one of the projects the two have worked on. Both are filmmakers working to document positive change and initiatives not only locally, but all over the world.
So we have been working over the last year or so, documenting Earth Guardians. So people that are fighting to protect the environment at different levels going. And at the same time, we have been working, interviewing people in this area, farmers in this area, so that our end goal is to continue. We have connections even in Minnesota with the native nations there that are trying to switch to renewable energy and to become pioneers, and people even farther west towards Nebraska and even Oregon. So we hope we could continue these interviews, to continue with these videos, and to eventually create a website that becomes both an encyclopedia of good examples, of positive examples of what people are doing in the world and how we can actually save our environment in our own community, knowing like our history. And at the same time, we would like this website to become a tool to connect communities across the world that can help each other, creating thus a network of positive change instead of doomsday rhetoric.
It is very easy, just like we said, and why we started, why we embarked on this endeavor. It is very easy to just, in this day and age, be super busy and focus on what you need to do to just keep on going with your job, in your day-to-day life, especially with the pandemic. We've been bombarded by all this negative news, so it's hard to even look up. It's just exhausting. So one of the things that I think we were both hoping is that this summit can serve as a seed something that is going to hopefully sprout to a beautiful creation later on, but more something that people can take with them. Like a message that people can take with them, a message of inspiration, because that's what we're missing nowadays. We're missing the inspiration, because when people are inspired by positive examples, they can do things and they can act.
The North Country Art, Land, and Environment Summit kicks off September 9th and will be held virtually every Wednesday of September with a closing ceremony on October 2nd. For ABC 50 Now, I'm Isabella Colello.